And now we have Mr. Llama, or Llama, in Spanish it is Llama. Mr. Llama saying Path of Exile 2 is amazing. And you have to remember that Mr. Llama is the Diablo 2 guy. So apparently Diablo 2 people like Path of Exile 2, which is awesome in my opinion. So let's see what he has to say about it.
What's up YouTube, Mr. Lemmacy here, and today I'm going to be describing my 7 favorite things about Path of Exile 2. Now this is my list of all the good things about this game. I mean, not all, I'm sure there's more small ones, but kind of my top 7 things about it. I'm going to have the things I dislike about the game in a separate video because I don't want this video to just be forever long. But yeah, let's dive on in with that. So the first thing I want to talk about...
This is the correct way of doing things, by the way. He has a lot of things that he likes, but even in the things that you like a lot, there is always things that can be improved. And you are not full on positive nor full on negative. You have your positive and your negative. That is the way to go.
Is the beauty of this game. It is absolutely gorgeous, and not just because the graphics are really great, not just because the music is really great, but the creativity with all of it, the sound design.
The art style is really good, and again, the songs, the theme of the songs, oh brother. If you guys played the end of Act 2, and you know what the Dreadnought is, that has to be the coolest song in any fucking ARPG you have ever played. Like fighting, I will just say it, I don't care about spoilers. At the end of Act 2, you fight on a thing called the Dreadnought, which is basically like a caravan that is gigantic. And while you are fighting monsters, the caravan is on the movement. So it is basically like you are fighting on a moving train, something like that, but it's a caravan on the desert. It is so fucking cool, dude. Bro, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this, my bro? It is just one click. It is free. Just click the button, my dude. We are having fun over here. You don't like to have fun, dude.
And the monster design, the themes within the game. You've got beautiful jungles. You've got beautiful Aztec worlds. I mean... Look at this. We are on a moving town right now. How awesome is a moving town?
Awesome, dude.
And then you're jumping around to the different areas, and it's just each one of the areas has its own really unique feel to it. The rockiness. It doesn't feel like everything is just super grayed out, which I think is a really important piece. But it actually feels like you have just kind of unique, cool design, and it's beautiful. And look at the monsters and these spiders, how they're crawling down the wall and stuff. I mean, it's fantastic. I have 12 out of 10, 10 out of 10, whatever. It is, I couldn't ask for better with the design. I also really love the look of the different spells, and how they just kind of play into the game. So that's a really big piece, is, you know, what is the spell design, right? Having the electricity on the spider's legs and stuff, and making sure the colors and things fit. And they've gone all the way into seeing, you can see, look, if you look at my health orb, even like the lighting from my cursor is affecting on the orb, right? That's how much the design exists within the game.
Yeah,
and the layering of the UI into the actual game, the lighting is fantastic here as well. You can get a really good sense of that. I'm just blown away again, like 10 out of 10. They absolutely crushed the design, the beauty there of the game, and I just could not be happier with that. So for number 1, starting off great with just every piece working together.
The game is beautiful, basically. The game is beautiful.
Now, number 2 is going to be the monster types, and you already got a little bit of that shown to you right there with some of those spiders crawling down the walls, but there's just a lot of different monster types.
Brother, they said in the interviews or whatever before the game release that they have over 400 monster types. And I believe them, because every zone has different monsters, different skills, different animations. It is insane, brother. This game has a lot of different monster types, dude. Maybe more than any other game of this type that I have played. And it is in early access with only 3 acts. So when they introduce more zones, I have to think that they are going to introduce even more monster types, which is insane. Even when you stun them, the animations of them getting stunned is different. It is insane. Oh yeah, the cursor reflecting of the health mana is such a cool little detail. Yes, brother, it is insane. Look at that. Really cool, brother. I am doing it in the mana sphere.
That you're going to be finding within the game overall. And what's really interesting and great about the monster design is they don't all feel the same. And obviously right now I am blasting through a little bit. It's because this is a level 36 area and I'm level 46. But generally you're not really one-shotting all of these monsters. And because of that, you're having to really take note of what they do. Right? So you're saying, okay, this monster is, you know, really fast right here. I need to be backing up and getting out of the way. This one's shooting, you know, this has got a nice range. They've got different AIs. Some of them will have shields, and the shields can actually, like, deflect your arrows. And so you'll have to roll behind them or something if you want to kill them, and actually start to damage them. There's just really a lot of greatness within all of that just adds so much to the game. I feel like there's many ARPGs that do get made that have plenty of good within them, but one of the biggest problems is the monsters don't have enough uniqueness to them, and that ends up being kind of a big issue for the game overall. Is it's just like, well, you know, I just kind of get bored playing through the areas because every monster feels like it's the same monster that I've fought before. True. So that has been a big positive for me. Number 3 is going to be the WASD, which you can see me using right here.
I am also playing WASD and it is really cool. At the start, I had to get used to it because I am not used to playing these games as WASD. But once you get used to it, it is really cool. And I am playing melee, and people say that for range, it is even better. So when I actually play a range character, since I am already used to, it will be really cool.
Night and day that I mean, I never thought I'd really be using WASD in an RPG, having played Diablo 2 so much, been a point and click guy so much. I thought I'm always going to be pointing and clicking, and WASD, if they introduce it, cool, that's fine, whatever. Not for me. No, I was wrong. It is for me, and it's so great. Being able to make the minute changes that I need to make to move and adjust while still being able to cast and shoot, especially in a game like this, which does have me really needing to dodge all of the different monsters' attacks and see what's coming in and stuff, has just felt so good. I mean, I can't even really describe it. This is on a range class. I know on some melee classes, people have enjoyed point and click a little bit more, but on the range classes at least, I'm like, yes, please, let me have points, let me have WASD forever. And it's pretty funny because Diablo 2 just put WASD into its game and then had to remove it because it was super buggy and terrible. This one, you do not have any of the issues that they had in that. It works flawlessly. I'm extremely blown away. It gets a 9 out.
Yes, Diablo 4 also has WASD, which is cool. But in Diablo 4, you kind of actually need it less. In PoE 2, it is kind of like they had to put WASD because it is a necessity because of how the game plays. They knew we had to put WASD in here because you have to move and to cast and to dodge the skills or whatever. So it is cool. That little part I did there was, I was focused because I don't know if you saw, but it was spicy. Anyone who doesn't use WSD or a controller is just gimping themselves. I tried to play with a controller and you move, the movement is insane with the controller, it is really good. But I stopped using the controller because I couldn't use the mouse for the menus. If I could use the controller to play the game and the mouse for the menus, that is what I would do. But you have to keep using the controller for the menus and that is annoying. So that is why I stuck with the keyboard and mouse. As a minion build which WASD movement and casting while moving is insanely good. Exactly. WASD is honestly one of the main things that enables PoE to combat. Exactly. The combat wouldn't be the same without WASD.
Out of 10 for me, the biggest issue is just it doesn't work super well with the keyboard feeling of needing to press like the 1 or 2 or E, right? Like when your fingers are all engaged on WASD over there, it can be hard sometimes to push the 1 key or the 2 key or anything. But that's honestly something that I can also like, I'll just have to learn, and I already have been learning. So, you know, if I'm going up to the top left, let's say, pushing the, 1 key is kind of really difficult to do. But I can take off, one of my fingers really quickly and just not be going fully to the top right or top left, but just go up a tiny bit and push it. So again, it's just it's WASD in general, not a fault of Path of Exile, but just something there. And what I thought would be more
exactly
of a problem,
this happens even in shooters or in games that have WASD, and you have to use skills, and you are pressing the W, and you wanna use the finger to another key, and you can, so you have to use your other fingers, brother. But that is any game that uses WASD, not only Path of Exile, right? Most of my abilities are using Q, E, R, T, and F as supplementary abilities. Left, middle, and right click are my main abilities. I also try to do that. I don't like using the middle click because it is awkward to press the the little scroll. But my main ability, which is the rolling slam, I have it in the right click.
but here I've been pretty okay with it. I'm totally fine. Number 4, and I'm not going to show footage because I don't want to spoil the boss fights, but number 4 is the boss fights, and this is
that is the number 1 coolest thing about this game, dude. Well, I had to say that outside of combat, like the way they design the combat, that is the best thing in the game. For me, the way you play your character and how you have to fight, that is the number 1 thing in the game. And then the boss fights, but that goes hand in hand. Like the combat is cool, or the bosses are cool because of the way you fight, right?
Biggest win overall with this game, which isn't surprising considering Path of Exile 1 had fantastic boss fights, but this game took them and then pushed them up to the next level. I mean, I can't say enough about the boss fights in this game. They are absolutely gorgeously fantastic, and just like
it is insane.
Chef's kiss to them is all I can say. They nailed it, and it's the boss design in every way. It is literally how the bosses look, how the spells are, the different feeling between each boss fight, all the different phases, all the different things you have to learn. And I love that I go into a boss fight, I die, I go back into it, but I've learned one more thing. Okay,
exactly.
When he does this attack, I have this timing window to get out. I need to be in this spot, whatever it is, right? Obviously, not hardcore friendly for your first just like get in and go, but I don't need it to be hardcore friendly, right? I feel like the game should be hard enough that you can't just on your first try beat it in hardcore. To me, that's kind of silly. Like, it should punish you and blast you, and that's kind of how it's been for most of the hardcore players.
Brother, base! Mr. Llama base, dude! I've loved every single boss fight I've done. Same, brother, same. I have no complaints about any boss fight that I have done. I've legitimately never felt cheated in any that I've had. Exactly. I fought every PoE 1 Pinnacle boss and PoE 2 Act bosses is on the highest level. Nice, nice. I obviously didn't fight PoE 1 Pinnacle bosses, but you guys know that I love boss fights, and that is one of the reasons I was excited for PoE 2, and I'm not disappointed. This is insane, brother. This is insane, dude.
That I've seen all my friends that, play this game all the time, and you have Ben, and you have Zidra, and you have all these guys that have just been dying because it's a hard game, and they are experts at Path of Exile. But it's really, really great to watch and see it happen, and just, yeah, I love the boss fights, and you're getting beyond the boss fights, you're getting the arenas as well. The arenas shifting and moving throughout the boss fight. So you fight them in one area and then it moves into the next. You fight in an area that's moving as you're playing. You're fighting just in all these different spots. I can't.
Well, there is a boss, without spoiling, that he breaks where you are. When you are fighting, he destroys it and you go to a different area, and that boss fight is insanely cool. It is a hard one too. A lot of people die in there, but it is really cool.
Enough. I mean, when you play through this game, and there are 100+ boss fights in this game, when you play through this game and you get to the boss fights and you're moving around, you're going to be like, this is so hard. And I hope that you find love in that difficulty, because it's been fantastic. And I love that it is taking a while for me to kill the bosses, that I don't just go in and kill them in 3 shots.
Exactly.
Because it makes me get to, it makes it so I can enjoy the whole boss fight. Number 5 is the control overall, and just the snappy character feedback that we have. Oops.
Exactly. I already did something in here that is insanely cool, and he's probably going to mention it. I have this ability that is wind up, right? It is like a long animation, but I can do this. No, I gonna move, and I roll, and I cancel the animation. That is really good, because in this game, that you have to dodge a lot of stuff. If you lock your animation, then you are screwed, right? Well, they gave you a possibility of rolling out, and you dodge, and you dodge. That is really good, brother. That is really good. I like it. The Colossus was very fun. The Colossus was insane. I loved it. The scenario, the actual character, the skills that it used, the fight. Oh, it was insane, brother. It is a really cool moment when you get there and you see the big dude come. Oh, brother. Yeah, I just want all the spirit possible so that I can get as many minutes as possible. Yeah, brother. I struggle with my spirit because I have this skill. Let me see here. The Herald of Ash, that is a permanent skill, and it uses a spirit. And if you wanna use more support gens for that skill, it also requires more spirit. So I needed more spirit to be able to improve that skill. And I managed to get my chest that gives me plus 36 spirit, and that way I could improve my Herald of Ash. So the spirit mechanic is really cool, brother, because it is not an actual resource that you spend like mana, but it's a resource you need to have to enable some skills. Really cool system, really cool system. Well, I used throw grenades on the Colossus, so I didn't know that you need to damage hands. Yeah, brother, that happened to me. I died the first time throwing everything at the face, and I needed to hit the hand, bro. Yeah, people who die a lot probably don't use the dodge roll enough, honestly, because it cancels every animation in the game. And in one of my upcoming playthrough videos, I challenge everyone to try and find a skill that has an animation lock, so I can prove them wrong and tell them why they're dumb. Yeah, brother, I haven't found anything that is locked, because you can always dodge out of the skill. In my experience, you can always dodge out.
Take your time.
I haven't found anything that doesn't let you do that.
That we have within the game, right? So it's the idea that everything is like super quick and right on your command. When you're pressing something, it's happening. When you're drinking your flask, when you're rolling, when you're doing anything whatsoever, it is so snappy. You are not feeling lag. You are not feeling like it's sluggish or your character's taking too long to make an action, or there's a big wind up for them to do whatever, their dodge. Like, it is quick. And you need that in an ARPG to really feel great. You need that in a lot of games to really feel great. If you're playing an FPS and it feels like there's a delay between you trying to shoot or you trying to make a move, it's also going to feel really bad.
Yeah.
So, again, that's just kind of a standard thing I think does need to exist within the game, but something that I think they've done a fantastic job with. Number 6 is the itemization and just the meaningful items. I have some problems with items. That'll be in the problems video. But overall, the meaningful idea and pieces of items is quite nice. And I'll give you a great example. I have 4 pairs of gloves, and I can't tell you which one is the best glove.
Exactly, it happens to me all the time.
Have greatness and downfalls. to them. And this is something that is fantastic currently about the game. And it's not brand new. This is taken from Path of Exile 1. But it is something to see. So for instance, here are the gloves that I am using. They have lower armor and energy shield, so I don't really get much in terms of defense from them, but I do get 57 life, 15 dexterity, which has been really nice for using my gear and using my spells, because I run a lot of dex spells, and so I need high dex to be able to use them. And then dual res on there, and a little bit of damage. Now I also have these gloves, which have big life on them because they had a socket and I put more life. It actually has a lot of physical damage added to attacks. 4 to 11 means a lot more DPS with all my buffs. And then increased crit damage bonus and high fire res. It does really have, again though, not much in the way of defense, so just low energy shield. You move to these gloves and there's really nice evasion, really nice life, and some life with attacks, but it doesn't have any of those other pieces, so I lose some of the DPS, but I gain more defense from it. And then you move to these gloves and they've got nice evasion, nice armor for some damage reduction, a little bit of life, and then some light res, and mana leech, which is actually pretty important in this game. And I can't tell you still to this point of it which gloves I should actually be wearing and which gloves are the best gloves.
That happens to me all the time. In fact, I also had some unique gloves drop, and I am not using them because I don't really know if they are good for me. It is insane. You have to be good at the game to know what is actually the best item for you. So I am learning. And there are a lot of different stats. I have to learn more about itemization, but that makes itemization cool, and it makes exciting when you get a new item, when you roll an item, when you upgrade an item with a currency. In D4, I don't even look at the fucking items. It is just annoying, dude. I think the item drops in the game are fine enough. I do think they need to increase currency drops by like 50% or so. I agree with that, brother. I agree with that. What I do think they have to do about the loot drop is not necessarily increasing the loot that is dropped, but adjust the quality of said loot. Because you are seeing that a lot of the things that I get, I am just vendoring or disenchanting, right? Maybe make it so that the stuff that I get, sometimes I can use it, right? That is the only complaint that I would have on that respect, but I do want them to improve the Exalted or bullshit so I can upgrade my rares. That is because I feel like the all other things I am getting enough of. But the one that gives you extra affixes for, this have 4 affixes, but it can have 6, right? The one that gives the affixes, I believe it is the Exalted Orb. That is the one I want to drop more because it is the one I am needing the most, right? The other ones, I feel that I get enough of them.
Keep your eyes sharp.
Honestly, I think that PoE 1 itemization is better, but that's because I know million mechanics with influences implicit. Well, PoE 2 simplified a lot. And I like that it simplified a lot because I don't know all the bullshit in PoE 1 and I am a new player. So to me, it is good that they simplified. And it is still complex, imagine that. With that being said, I think simplification is going to be better for general audience. Exactly. You are completely on the money on that because that is my experience.
These seem to kind of be the in-between mix of all of them, and that's why I have them on. But maybe these are honestly the best gloves. Maybe I should just be rolling for these to really get the higher DPS. And it really also depends the area and how my character's feeling at the time. If I'm feeling like I'm not needing as much defense, then these are better. If I feel like I need more evasion or I need more defense, then I should maybe be switching to these. It's beautiful. And this is true on all of the different items. Again, are these the best boots? No, but they're boots that have decent defense and movement speed, and I really want some movement speed. And so you just kind of have meaningful mods that make a lot of sense, and there's a lot of decision between all of them, and that's something that I think is so important in ARPGs, and you're not finding in every ARPG, right? That's something that a lot of times there's just item, it's bigger damage, that's always the best choice, or item, here's green arrow, put that on, and you're not really getting down to the nitty gritty of, okay, well, what's my evasion and armor, and what are my resistances, and do I need more life here, do I...
In D4 it is like green arrow up, that is the item. Damage goes up, that is the item. In Path of Exile 2, it is not always clear what gives you more damage, or even if it is clear, you not always, what you are needing is not always more damage. Sometimes you need other stuff too.
Need mana leech because I'm burning through my mana, and you're really having to make tough decisions constantly when you're playing through and looking at your gear. So that is number 6. And the final piece, my number 7, best thing about Path of Exile 2 is the difficulty of the game. This
nice.
game,
we have a base dude in here that likes that the game is hard and not a cakewalk. And that is the idea. I want a challenge. Not this bullshit in other games that you are just playing a fucking cinematic and you are not actually interacting with the game because the game is on autopilot. This dude knows what's up, dude.
It's hard. And it's also got some tediousness and some stuff. Again, I'll address that in the problems video.
Of course, brother. Don't worry about it.
This game is hard. From the get-go, you step out in Act 1 and you're like, I'm a brand new character. I'm going to go out and adventure. And then it's just like, boom, boom. You're just getting like pummeled. And you're like, wait, what? Like, I'm just starting the game. And it just continues on from there. And the bosses are hard. They've got many phases. They have a lot of attacks that I don't want to say aren't telegraphed super well, but you have to like learn the cues exactly. Oh, he put his hands up. Oh, he said this line. Oh, he did this. I need to be here. I need to do this. It has you thinking. It has you on your toes. You can't just be lazy and looking off and just kind of casually farming through, because even the white mobs, which maybe are slightly overtuned.
I have found out, by the way, that the mobs in the maps in the zones are harder than the bosses. Like, I died a lot more to the stupid mobs than to bosses, which is insane, dude. Yo, Rizzo, my dude, how you doing, brother? Removal of gem sockets in gear is opening the opportunity to corrupt every good item on site to break it. I know that you do that with the Val orb, but I don't actually know how everything on that works. I never got to that point in PoE 1, but I do have to say that the removal of gem sockets in gear is one of my favorite things in PoE 2 because it was annoying as fuck trying to get the links and the colors, or fuck that. I love the difficulty personally, exactly, me too. One thing I like is that I can't just summon minions and let them kill everything for me. I have to actually help them out. In PoE 1, you can just let the minions kill everything. And in D4, it is also true with the Necromancer. You just let the Necro do, the minions do the fighting for you. It is stupid. I like also that you have to actually play.
Are very deadly. And you can very easily get caught just in a corner, mobs surrounding you, and then you're just getting pummeled and dead. I mean, it's wild how hard it is. But as someone who comes from an older world of ARPGs, I love that. I love the difficulty of this game. I love that they decided to not just make it a breeze through where the monsters don't really hurt you.
And I hope they don't beat down.
I remember
they can adjust it because people are, oh, it is too hard. Okay, adjust it, but don't make it a cakewalk. The game is supposed to be a challenge, dude.
When I was doing my Diablo 4 playthrough, and I'm not trying to pile on Diablo 4, it had its difficult spots as well and all of this, but I remember I was doing the playthrough at one point, and I walked my character into the middle of a bunch of white mobs, and then I took my hands off of my keyboard and mouse, and I sat there for a few seconds, and my character just had all these mobs all around him, hitting him and whatever, and his life was just like slowly going down. And then I drank a sip of water, put it down, put my hands up back on, and I just walked right out of them with no worries whatsoever because they didn't block me in any capacity, and then I just turned and killed them all. And it was on the hardest difficulty that it would let me be on. I know it wasn't on the like ultimate, they have the difficulties, which I don't love difficulties anyways. That's a different story. But
hey, that is something cool that he's addressing in there. I also don't like that you have like in Diablo 4 you have 8 difficulties. In PoE 1 and 2, how many difficulties do you have? 1. This is the game. Like it or not, this is the game. This is the difficulty. Everyone is benchmarked the same. Awesome stuff, dude. I went Sorceress, Chronomancy, and Ascendancy. Brother, Sorceress. You know what I think about Sorceress, my dude? Sorceress equal pussy bitch, bro. But at least you went Chronomancer, because Chronomancer is the one that people say it sucks or whatever, and people don't like the Chronomancer, and they are going with the other one. So I will give you that one, bro. So basically, Corrupting Gear is a gamble. It can add additional modifiers, so you can have 7 modifiers with 6 max limit. You can have more rune sockets than usual, but also it can fully reroll your item. Oh, okay. So you can upgrade or destroy your item. A gamble. Okay, that is cool.
It was on like the, you know, not the beginner, but it was like veteran or whatever, right? That was like, it was my first playthrough and that's all it would let me go on. So can you, of course, increase the difficulty further? Maybe when you've played through the game already and then you can increase it and that won't happen? Possibly. But I remember being a little disappointed that it was like Act 3 or something and I could just go stand in the middle of monsters and not be scared in any capacity. And I thought, man, I wish it was a little scarier. And here in Act 1, if you go and stand in the middle of monsters,
you are
for
dead.
2 seconds, you are dead. And that continues through the game. Again, it is extremely hard. I love it. I'm having a blast. Again, we'll talk about more pieces of that in the next video. But overall, I'm glad that they didn't shy away from the difficulty and that they are willing to make the game really just a hard game to play, and one that you have to pay attention and you have to learn and you have to really work through. So with that being said, those are my top 7 things right there that I love about Path of Exile 2. Now, it does have its issues. We'll talk about those in the next one. So I'll see you guys there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. Peace, everybody.
Hey, this was a good video, Mr. Lama. I agree with your points. I do love the things that you are saying in here. And I am excited to see the one that you are, where you are going to say the things that you don't like it. Because yes, not everything is perfect. We can always improve things. In fact, that is the point of the early access. We are going to improve the game steadily until release. And even after the release, they are going to keep improving the game probably in many ways. So it is not like you can criticize it, right? So I am excited to see what he has to say about the other things too. But in this one, I agree completely, and I am also loving the game. This game is insane. I will say it, this is the best ARPG ever released in its current state, and it's not even close. So when it gets improved, it will be even better. And yes, I am putting it on top of the 2. I know that this game wouldn't exist if the 2 didn't exist, so the 2 has its spot in among the greats, right? But PoE2 is just the best fucking ARPG, no questions asked. Yes, I said it, fight me. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.